I'm opening it.
Alright guys, so we're opening up a new Spider Farmer light, and this one it's a little different than their regular one. Like we have their Samsung diode ones. Those are awesome. So this is one that we haven't tested out before.
Oh, yeah, look at that.
Oh wow, it's white. Like the whole thing inside is white too. So this is the Spider Farmer 600. And we wanted to unbox it with you guys before we get it set up, and I needed to unbox it right now before we go out. We're about to go out right now, and I was just going to see if we need any special hooks or anything. And I'd like to have this hanging above my vanity area over here. Either that or against this wall here with the Monstera. We have a big Monstera on this wall. So this is much less than their higher end lights. We have the Spider Farmer 2000. We've got a few of those. Those are awesome. But I'm interested in testing this one out because it costs less, so maybe more people would be able to get it. On both ends of the Spider Farmer light, it has one of these little knobs or little screws here. I'm just going to screw this part right on there on both ends. Okay, so these are the stainless steel wires to hang it. And then you have two of these wing nuts. And so you just thread your stainless steel in through there. And then you thread the end back in there. So you're just creating a loop on top. Here, actually I'll show you like this, might be easier to see. Okay, so I'll thread that back in there. All right, and then to tighten it up when you want to lock it into place, you just turn your little wing nut and that will tighten it up. And then when you're ready, just plug that right in. So right now guys, we're just above my vanity here. That's where we're going to be hanging the light. So we're just measuring where we're going to hang it.
And we know that the vanity, this is the same length basically as the light.
Oh, perfect.
So what we're doing is just, it's between two doorways. So I'm just kind of eyeballing between the two doors where the side is. And I know that this is so many inches away from the wall. I'm just going to come over here right about there. Because that is centered from the wall over. And then I'll do it over here, same thing, repeat it. Right about there it looks like, okay. Now that should be it. Am I on it? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, good. That's pretty much close enough, I'd say. Oh, geez, I was nervous for the Monsteras.
Okay, now
I almost had a mini heart
what we're
attack.
going to do is get a shot of these. We're going to put those things in. These are drywall anchors. So you can just put a screwdriver in there and they self-drill. But I'm going to pre-drill it first.
2 drywall anchors. We picked up both of these at Lowe's yesterday. And then the pieces, the little wing nuts that the light comes with.
Okay, I'm just getting it started. Put that on the Phillips bit. And then put it up there. So here we go, take 2. And then you just put that in there. And same thing on this one. There we go. Now all you have to determine is how high you wanted it off.
Okay. You know what? I think this is actually going to be a really good alternative for anyone who doesn't want the panels, like the exposed panels, you know, because they can look a little bit industrial. It just depends on kind of, you know, if you're after a certain aesthetic. But I think having the white shroud like that is, and also that these are 1/3 of the price of the other Spider Farmers we have, this might be a really good option.
And half the weight.
Yeah, they're super light. Yes, they are half the weight.
So I'm going to make sure that the plug is on that side.
Okay.
I think we're hanging it from that side, right?
Do you want me to help or you got it?
I got it.
Okay.
Let's see how I did with
I love how light those are, yeah.
Yeah, very lightweight. So, I don't know. I mean, if you want it higher, let's see. Let's plug it in and see how it looks.
I'd like it to go a little bit higher, like just above the mirror.
Well, I was liking your idea of running the cable on top and somehow being clever about taping it or something on there.
All right, so there's a couple different ways you could go about hanging this. The first is to just make a loop with your wire on each side, right? So you make the loop any size you want using the wing nut, tighten it down. So what I'm gonna be doing though is actually I want this to be higher because I want it to be further away from the plants because my plants are up on the table. They go pretty high up, and so I wanna bring this light closer up to the ceiling. So we're just gonna bead on our little wing nuts. And I'm gonna go ahead and use both of them. You could probably get away with one, but I'm gonna keep all the parts together and just use both on here. And then go ahead and cross your right one into the left wing nut. So you've got both your left and your wire going through. Does that make sense? And then repeat on the right side here with your right wing nut, taking the left wire and going through that. Okay, so what you're creating here is one big loop. I'm gonna do the right wing nut, just tighten that down.
Okay, let's try it out. Hook and hook. Here's our big loop. It goes on each hook at each end. And there's where the nuts cross over. And there's the other hook. It's not coming in focus too much, but there you go.
Okay, it's a little bit tricky to hide the cord because it is a large black cord and then you have this black box in the middle. So I was thinking what I'll do for this particular situation is use my cord mate, which this is just one of those plastic tubings. I got this at like Lowe's or Home Depot. It came in a pack of a few of them, and I used them all up except for this little piece here. You can cut them to fit the length that you need, and so this is just a leftover piece. So we gotta figure out how to hide that, you know, because you don't want when you're setting up your grow light for your space, you probably don't want the big cords, you know, messing up your aesthetic, right? So we gotta hide that somehow, and I'm thinking I'm just gonna drop it behind the mirror here. I don't have an electrical outlet on this wall though, and I think I'm gonna need some command strips, so I will be right back. Let me grab those. Okay, I've got 2 sets of command strips, and these are the really basic ones that are just like the Velcro strips, and then each side is sticky, so I'm just gonna snap those together. Okay, now I've got 2. I'm gonna attach those to my cord mate because although that does have a sticky strip on one side of it to be able to stick to the wall, it doesn't stick that great. Command strips tend to work better, so that's why I use these instead. And before I use the command strips, I gotta write down the wall where I'm gonna be putting them. Okay, I've got my cord mate plastic tubing already on the cord here. Okay, so I'm gonna put 1 command strip at the very top, and then I'll put the next command strip on a little bit lower. So I'll put that one kind of in the middle of the tube here. Okay, I don't know if you guys will be able to see that, but I've got 1 there and 1 in the middle here. I'm not gonna worry about the bottom part. So there's a couple different ways that we could do the cord management in this situation. We could bring the cord down the side of the mirror, and that would make sense because the outlet from the light, where it plugs into the light, the cord is on that far side. So we could easily do that, or we could bring it to the shortest distance in the center and just center it. You know, actually, I know that plant was trying to attach to the wall, but I'm gonna have to move it just for a minute. Because I just don't want it, oops, here. I was just gonna lean it up there. I just don't want it getting pinched behind the mirror as we're doing this. Oh, poor little baby. Okay, so I just want to create enough slack to be able to reach the center. And I'll bring the cord mate almost up to the ceiling. Probably about like that, I think. Okay, we'll peel off the command strips. Okay, and you gotta press on the command strips for 30 seconds just to get those to set. All right, let's try that. All right, let's put the plant babies back up here. I don't have an electrical outlet on this wall, so I've got 1 over on this wall and then 1 in this corner. This one's the closest one, so I'll run a white extension cord from that wall over here. Okay, so I've got my extension cord plugged in, and these are the ones from IKEA that have the 4 outlets, and then they also have that kind of like fabric or woven cover around the cords. Okay, so the top of the cord is all situated behind the mirror, and then the rest of it is just about like that much. I'm just gonna have that down behind my vanity, and so I'm just gonna plug it into my extension cord. And this light is different compared to the higher end Spider Farmer lights. Like the Spider Farmer 2000, that has a dimmer switch and it also has a switch where you turn it on and off. This one does not, so there's no switches up there or anything. So on my extension cord, I have a switch here, so that's going to turn it on and off. That's how I'll operate it. Otherwise, what I would do if I didn't have this, I would, like if I was plugging it directly into the wall, I would plug it into a timer, and then that way you don't have to worry about turning it on and off every day. You just have the timer do it for you. But since my extension cord has a switch, I'm probably just gonna turn it on like that. And wow, that is super bright. That is so bright. All right. Okay, I'm gonna set this down here. Let's get this chair back in here. A couple of my favorite things about the Spider Farmer lights though is that they're super energy efficient. Like they barely take up any energy at all. So this one, this long light only takes up 74 watts. Like that's hardly anything. Oh, you know what? In this video, let's do a quick walk around and I'll show you guys some of the growth updates of the plants under the grow lights. So we have mostly Spider Farmer lights in here. So I've been using Spider Farmer for a while now. Love those. If I was to pick one light, because we do have several grow lights around the house from all different brands, and the light temperature is a little bit different on all of them. But by far, if I was to tell you guys just hands down, like regardless of the price, what the best light is that we have in our house, like what produces the most growth and makes the plants the most happy, hands down it would be Spider Farmer grow lights. Like they cover a large footprint, like the light. It covers a very large footprint. And if you guys are new to grow lights, I can definitely do another video where we kind of compare and I can show you all the different ones that we have. Because there's different styles, there's strip lights and, like the bar lights, there's panels and bulbs. So I can kind of gather those all up in one video and just kind of show you like an overall picture of what we have, just do an overview. The Spider Farmer lights are definitely at the very top of my list for getting the plants to grow better, bigger, faster, healthier. There's two lizards on my windowsill fighting right now. It's very distracting. They're just like clawing up at the window. Also, when you're picking out your lights, consider the color that you might want, because the color, you're gonna have to look at it every time you walk in the room, and certain colors can be more irritating on the eyes for some people compared to others. So it just depends on, if you like colored lights, or maybe you like the light pink lights, or maybe a cool daylight, or maybe you like a slightly softer, more easy on the eyes, more like real sun light with a kind of hint of warmth to it. The Spider Farmer lights are definitely that hint of warmth, creamier, softer, easy on the eyes, and that's one of my favorite things about these lights. I should mention this also, I do use my Spider Farmer lights as like a sun therapy. So any days that it's cloudy out and I walk in this room and I have my lights on, it just instantly starts to feel like the sun is out and makes me feel really good. It's very lifting to the mood, very uplifting. But yeah, if you're gonna have to live with grow lights and you're gonna walk into that room pretty regularly and see them every day, you want something that's gonna be connecting with you well, something that's gonna be easy on your eyes. And that's probably gonna be a little bit different for all of us on what we're attracted to. But I definitely, like my favorite lights hands down as far as the color goes, I go for the ones that are slightly more like golden hour, a little bit softer, easier on the eyes. So temperature of the light really makes a big difference in your space, and kind of having, it falls into like creating that aesthetic that you're after. So whatever that might be, then you can kind of customize your grow light to fit that. So we have the Spider Farmer 2000 light, but this light, just to give you an idea of the cost difference, this is only a third of the price of the Spider Farmer 2000 light. So it's going to be a lot more accessible to more people. More people will be able to have beautiful light, and the color of the light match perfectly. Like they are the same color, so you get that beautiful, creamy, consistent daylight, very sunny kind of look to your room or to your space. Okay, so here's my Alocasia Michelitziana or Alocasia Frydek. It was putting out little bitty baby leaves, and I bought this as a baby. It's still a baby right now, but those were the leaves. Are you guys able to see that? Hold on, this other big plant is in the way here. This is what it was putting out before. Okay, these little leaves. Here's an old one there, an old yellow one there. I gotta pull that one off. Oh, there's another one. Little bitty baby leaves, right? When I put this under the Spider Farmer light, it gave me this. Like it literally put out a leaf 4 times the size as its very next leaf, while it had been putting out this size. Like it was unbelievable. And ever since I have had this under the Spider Farmer light, the leaves have gotten bigger and bigger and keeps putting out more, and it barely drops any leaves. Like this was one of its old original baby leaves, so that one finally dropped off. I don't know if you guys will be able to see this too, but aside from the leaves, it is now putting out new babies of its own. So coming out from the soil, new bulbs. Michael's here with me, you guys, and I figured that we would just kind of show where we have the lights set up first so you can get an idea. And so there's one of our Spider Farmer lights, and we're using the Spider Farmer 2000. So let me show you guys over here. Alocasia Micholitziana, that's the one I showed you guys in the video. And then down here, oh you guys, this thing is loving life under here, and look at all those roots. Oh my gosh, so this is a Monstera subpinnata, and it just put out its newest leaf here. Let me show you guys that one, the light green one, that's the newest leaf. And it was having trouble hardening off until I put it under the light, and now all of a sudden it's all perky and hardening off perfectly. So sometimes if you have trouble with plants or their new leaves hardening off, it could be that they're not getting enough light. On this side I've got a string of hearts that is waiting to get repotted. Oops, sorry, that went out of focus. So my camera was looking at the Nanook up here. Yes, very pretty, the Nanook too. That one is, I had to actually take that away from the light because it was going completely pink. It was going all variegation, and it didn't have much green left on the leaves, so I had to reduce the light because that definitely comes into play when it comes to variegation. So the string of hearts here, now this is an interesting one because you can control the look of the leaves, the look and the shape of the leaves. Here's the kind of leaves that was growing before I got a hold of it and started giving it more light. So they're darker and they're kind of more narrow, and they just don't have the same kind of silver. Look at all the patterns and veinings in these though. So it starts putting out different shape leaves that are much more lighter and more silvery once you give it more light. It's not dragging on the ground quite yet, but it is getting very long. I do have my other two that are growing in here, and they are dragging on the ground. But they are super cute. I love string of hearts. They're one of my favorite plants. I'm not opposed to getting more string of hearts. I would actually have like a whole, I don't know, a whole waterfall coming off of this top shelf of string of hearts. They're just one of my favorite plants. And then up top here on this, hold on. Oh, my camera's looking at the string of hearts. Try to get it to focus on the Begonia maculatas. Maybe if I come around this way. So these two Begonia maculatas, they are recovering from cold damage in the male. I guess I ordered them at the wrong time of year, and so they're just up there slowly recovering. They're doing fine now though, they're putting out new leaves. And then down here I have the Syngonium podophyllum albo. That one is putting out new leaves. It has a new leaf unfurling today. Another leaf coming in back there. Another one here. This thing is just putting out new leaves constantly. I do have more plants down there. I'm not gonna do a whole tour though. I'm just gonna do kind of like the updates of plants that are just really loving this light. Okay, so I just want to give you an idea on how the plants are doing under the grow light. Here, I'm gonna turn this back on. These are really easy to operate too. I just turn it on, and then here's the dimmer switch here. So you can turn it up and make it super bright, but I normally leave it at the minimum, or maybe I'll go up to like 40%. But yeah, the plants are loving these lights. They are just something else. And you can see I do have the chair set up here. That's Michael's chair. That's sort of just an open spot where if we get another shelf for more plants to grow under the light, I can always move that chair out and use that whole space under there. But yeah, there's plenty more space over there to grow more plants under the light and really take advantage of all that space. I don't actually have more plants to go under there right now, but if I do in the future, they will have a spot ready to go. And then over here, you will notice I do have several plants on my desk because I'm getting ready to pot some up, but that's going to be a different video. And then over here are some newer philodendrons that actually we potted up in a video, but you guys haven't seen that video yet. And I think this video is going to be going up first, but you will be seeing those, so I won't talk about those yet. I have another string of, almost call it a string of pearls. No, a string of hearts. And you can see it is dragging on the ground. Yes, so I'm going to have to do something with that. I might have to propagate it. But yeah, my string of hearts, I have a couple of them that drag on the ground like that. So don't mind this shelf. It's pretty wild right now. Sometimes I just use this as an extra workspace and I just set plants up here that I need to remember to pot up soon. So I do have some plants that are still in their little nursery pots waiting to get potted up. I've got a couple of polka dot begonia. So these are both the cane variety. This flamingo queen is putting out bigger leaves. Like every time I look up here, it's got like a new leaf coming out. This is the Begonia Dawn Miller. or Mr. Miller, sorry. Yeah, Begonia Mr. Miller. So this one's putting out a new leaf too. That one just came out there. And then this variegated African violet is continuously in bloom under this light. It's just, and oh, the leaves too, it's putting out more variegation on the leaves. I've got some Finistraria or baby toes. Those are super cute. Here, let's point you guys downwards so you can see those. Look, oh, those things are just too darn cute. And then Alocasia Black Velvet. Now this one is really doing some interesting things here. It's got little babies that it's putting out. The little baby bulbs have started on this. It has 2 in here. One's in the very front there. But that one is really loving it here on the shelves. It did end up losing 1 leaf because I was accidentally watering with water that was not filtered, and I thought it was, and my filter had, I guess, run out or reached the end of its life, and so it did throw a bit of a fit and lost a leaf. But yeah, unfortunately I had a few plants that I didn't realize I was watering with unfiltered hard water, and they didn't like that at all. So they definitely showed some burn. And so once I caught on to what was happening, I changed the filter and everything started going back to normal. So I was grateful for that. But yeah, I had a few plants that ended up with a little bit of burn. I've got a philodendron micans back here. That one I keep a little bit further away from the light and it seems to do best. So I also keep the light on the dimmest, I keep it dimmed all the way down, and the plants do really well like that, but you could always make it brighter if you want. I just recently put this plant up here. This is Calissia repens, and it wasn't getting enough light where it was before, and so I thought I'd put it up here and let it get some more variegation. I have this little Euphorbia obesa, and it is just starting to go into bloom. So cute, it's got the little buds on the very top. And then next to that is the Tradescantia Rainbow Tricolor. That one's getting some really pretty colors. Those, like the Tradescantia and the Calissia, those really respond nicely to the light. Any plant with variegation does really well under these lights. This is another Calissia repens that was in a different location, and I ended up putting it back under the light because it just seemed happier under here. Oh, and also that was one of the plants that ended up getting watered with unfiltered hard water, and wow, let me tell you, that thing crisped up in a minute. It did not like that water at all. We can talk more about Tradescantia and Calissia care in a different video, but if you do ever have trouble with them crisping up on you or leaf burn, it could definitely be the water. They are very sensitive to minerals in the water and lime, so you might want to switch to distilled water and see if that helps. I know with mine it definitely makes a huge difference, so I do have to be careful what water I give them. I totally forgot to show you, I do have lithops under here too that really enjoy the light as well. Oops, I'm just spilling. This one has new little leaves that are coming through, super cute. I've got another one, that's what's in these little pots here, so I've got another little lithops in there hiding out. I've got a Scindapsus here, got that at Lowe's for $5.98, amazing deal, gorgeous silvery and Scindapsus. And then Scindapsus exotica on that side. That one's just a little baby, it's finally starting to grow out. I could probably give it a little more light. I bet if I swap out one of these other plants up here and put it up a little higher, it'll probably grow faster. So that's what's on the shelf over there, and I will keep you guys updated on any new growth that happens with the plants over on this side. I can't wait to see these plants start to respond because they were definitely not going to be getting enough light. This corner, or this side of the room, here if I scoot back a little you'll be able to get a better idea, but there's no light over here at all, and that's one reason why I put the mirror over here, was to help kind of reflect more light from the window that's right behind me. So I was just trying to get more light, but you know what? That grow light I think is gonna kick butt over here. But yeah, I just wanted to share the setup of the grow light and kind of like how I do the cord maintenance with them, or cord management, and also some updates with the plant babies. And if you guys are using grow lights too, let me know what brand you're using and what you like about it, and also what color the light is, if you know. If you don't know the Kelvin, just let me know like what the color or temperature of the light is. Oh, by the way, I am playing with a new camera here, so I'm getting the hang of this. So in case the color is off on the past couple of videos or the next few videos, I'm working that out. I'm just kind of like learning this camera, and it's a lot different than my old one, but it's pretty awesome. It's an awesome camera. I also have this gimbal that I'm working with too. So in case you're wondering what I have attached to my camera, that's what it is. I'm using the Zhiyun Weeble S, which is, it's pretty awesome, but it'll take me a little bit of practice to get the hang of this new setup. All right guys, I love you, have an awesome day, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.